All right, coming up on Remix Report, we got a lot of good stuff for you. We have the EDM Growth Chart. We have a new mix from DJ AM. We have the Coachella Cruise. We have a new EP from Joey C of the Mashup Mafia. We have a lot of talk
the week results
on DJs and what it means to be a DJ.
I might talk a little bit more about Dead Mouse. I apologize in advance, but that's coming up too.
You might. Stay tuned.
This is Remix Report with your hosts, DJ JD and DJ J Spring.
Today's video brought to you by YourDJSkins.com. Pimp your gear today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Remix Report. It's another weekend recap. I'm DJ JD.
I'm DJ J Spring, and as always, we're going to start off with where we were this weekend, then we're going to get into some news items. We've both been scouring the interweb, trying to find exciting stuff like we always do. No guests this week, unfortunately. Maybe next week we'll have another guest. I know it was fun having DJ Goozy, Goozy with us last week.
But don't worry, we do have a cool interview to air on Friday of this week, so stay tuned for that.
We'll talk about some other stuff. We're going to talk about the Day by Day interview that we did on Friday, and then we're going to get into our topic of the week discussion, which I don't think will ever die.
Thankfully. I hope it dies.
I kind of like it. It's fun when you're like the only one who's rational, and you get to just keep like being rational. Everyone else around you is just...
I'm rationally over it.
Weird.
Definitely.
Anyway.
All right, so why don't you start us off with your weekend?
You know what? I don't even have a whole lot to say about my weekend. I was at Scorpion Bar on Friday and Saturday, and I did Shrine on Sunday. It was weird being away from Scorpion Bar for 2 weeks, actually, because the week before I did Shrine on a Friday, and then I was Russian Lady on a Saturday, I think. So a place that I normally do pretty much every Friday and every other Saturday, I was away for 2 weeks. So it was nice to be back to my home.
Nice. Feels good, right?
It does feel good. How was your weekend?
Very busy. Let's see, I was at Shrine on Friday. Pretty decent night, normal Friday. I was at Black Bear in Hartford for the first time on Saturday night. It was a really great time, great crowd. Had some old friends come out. And a couple DJs came out too. Shout out to 007, EL, and Construct. Construct was actually across the street playing at Up on the Rocks, so he came over and hung out early in the night before we started. Always good seeing the other DJs around.
Is there anything you're not mentioning? Maybe a certain song that you broke out?
Yes. I played the Macarena. That's right. It was awesome. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed it. I actually went from...
So which mix of Macarena? Was it Knife Party or Hardwell or something?
Just the original. A little Still
okay.
Rio version. So I started off with... I did a remix a couple years ago of the Hot Stepper beat, Einik Mosey, with Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize over it. And then I have an acapella outro for that.
I'm still not sure how we're getting closer to Macarena yet.
So the acapella outro of Notorious B.I.G. Hypnotize is when I brought in the Macarena. So it was not only just the Macarena, it was the Macarena with Biggie Smalls.
And it went over well?
It went over pretty well. I mean, I got on the mic and said, hey, I'm going to throw something a little left field for you. Hope y'all can follow along. And some people were breaking out the moves. You know, it was... I
wonder what Biggie would have done if he could have heard.
Pretty sure he rolled around in his grave, but I think he liked the mix. In-key mix also, so it sounded pretty good.
That's good. Black Bear, for those who aren't from Connecticut, is definitely one of those places that you could break out some of those left field mixes, as you say.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. I think people enjoyed it. Let's see, Sunday I had a wedding at the Mystic Seaport. I was not only just did the reception, but I also did cocktail outside, of course, and the ceremony as well, which was out on the lawn under a tent. And luckily it was under a tent because it ended up raining. But it was a good day, long day. Shout out to Boy Wonder for helping me out with that on loading, unloading stuff. And then Monday, I was at Patty's again doing the beach, and it was probably the best Monday party we've had down at the beach this year, I would say. Definitely great weather. Got some more promoters on it, so it's Insight Events and After Dark, both promoting now. So got some Providence people down to the beach also, which was good.
Nice.
And it was a fun fun time. So
Palooza is coming up in about 6 weeks or so. They're kind of trying to make it like kind of a festival kind of thing.
the
with
Patty's Palooza, it's going to be like a Saturday, Sunday event now, it looks like. So
I think we're going to be on Sunday. You know, I was going to ask you maybe off camera, but since we're here, I think maybe we should videotape it and then show it on Remix Report.
ooh,
Because we do have, hopefully we'll have some remixes done by then. And that'll be like the first time we really drop them.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, we're headlining Sunday, you and I, and Richard Farrelly's headlining Saturday. So
It's exciting.
all right.
Shout out to Ryan from Inside Events.
Absolutely. Definitely want to remind you guys again that we will be at the DJ Expo in Atlantic City, August 13th through 15th. You can definitely find us there, and hopefully we'll be able to meet up with a lot of people down there. If you're planning on going, please shoot us an email, let us know at remixreport@gmail.com. Put DJ Expo in the subject line, and hopefully we can all meet up sometime. So, all right, moving on to news.
This is like fun stuff that we find from Facebook, Twitter, wherever else we happen to be. I guess the first thing, shout out to my friend Brady. I think someone else sent me this link too, and people sent me a couple people sent me messages with just the link. I kind of assumed maybe it was spam or something, so I didn't really go to it at first. But I think a few people sent me this article, so you know who you were, and thank you for sending it. Supposedly, not supposedly, this is what actually happened. I think Walmart, I don't know if it was in combination with someone else, the article says they were throwing a contest, and the contest was to see which store or the town where the store is could vote the most to get Pitbull to come perform at their store. And when these two comedians got wind of this, they said it'd be fun to have Pitbull perform at the most isolated store with the least populated town, and it happened to be at the small island, I think Kodiak, which is off of Alaska, that they decided on. And then they tried getting everybody to vote for the store. Their campaign kind of went viral, and I think Florida, Miami put up a little bit of a fight once they heard about this other thing that was going on, and it turns out that they actually did win this. The two comedians, they got Pitbull to go to Kodiak, Alaska. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I guess Pitbull's been a good sport about it. He said, wherever people want me to go, I'll go. And he even offered, I think, to bring these two guys with him to meet him if they want to go. So that's kind of cool.
That's awesome. That's really funny. So they were trying to exile Pitbull? Is that it?
That's what they called it, which is kind of funny. Exile Pitbull.
All right, we have an article from EDMsnob.com from the EDM Snob, who we have an interview with that will be airing on Friday. Definitely lots of really insightful stuff in that interview, so definitely check it out. He just posted an article called the EDM Growth Chart, basically charting how EDM has actually exploded over the last few years and kind of actually breaking it down with actual numbers. I mean, everybody's said EDM has grown so much over the last few years, but there's never really been any hard evidence presented for that, right? So, check out that at edmsnob.com. A couple of the cool facts that I found in there were that in 2010, 11, and the first half of 2012, more people listened to EDM than in the previous 6 years combined. So just in 2.5 years, equal to the previous 6 years combined. That's
definitely makes sense.
Definitely a lot of listening to EDM. And in 2004, nearly 90% of commercial radio stations played no EDM whatsoever. Now, 75% of stations do include EDM in their lineup.
I wonder what they consider EDM. I would assume, obviously...
probably like Stereo Love, that kind of stuff. Definitely.
So it doesn't include We Found Love by Rihanna or David Guetta, Without You by Usher. Is that considered EDM?
I'm not exactly sure. That's a good question.
But I know Titanium and Feel So Close.
Yeah.
Those two songs have had commercial airplay.
I did ask him where kind of he sourced some of the data from, and didn't want to go into too many details just yet because they're still sifting through some of the data and want to present it a little more thoroughly in the future, and also want to protect some of their sources because, it's what real journalists do. Okay. So definitely shout out to them for putting in the hard work. I know he kind of went through the process that they went through to do this whole chart, and it definitely took a couple weeks of hard work to really zero in on all this stuff and process all the data, and definitely put in a lot of work. So definitely go check that out and support the EDM Snob. All right, I found a headphone comparison chart on Juno Download. Juno, of course, is a music download site. They definitely have a lot of good dubstep that might not be on, and EDM stuff that might not be on Beatport and other services. So good place to go if you're looking for music. But they had this headphone comparison chart that lists pretty much all the popular DJ headphones. The winner they came up with was, I'm not even sure how to really pronounce this. It's not a brand I'm familiar with, probably an overseas brand, but III TMA1. Is that how you would say that? AI.
I wouldn't even try to say that.
Sells for 170 pounds, which is probably like $250 or so. Other headphones on there were, of course, the HDJ 2000s by Pioneer and a couple other models. So take a look at that, see if there's any headphones. If you're in the market for some new headphones, you might want to take a look at that first.
In other news, Kevin Scott just brought out an unreleased DJ AM mix. He put it on his website, and it's a live mix. It's funny because there's a good story behind it. I recommend that everyone reads the story. Basically, AM was approached and asked to make a mix CD. I think it was for Interscope, I believe. It's in the article. And AM's big thing was that he wanted it to be of classics, because if he did all new songs, it would be outdated by the time the CD came out. And Kevin Scott was actually, I don't know if supervising is the right term, maybe executive directing or something. He was kind of doing all the behind the scenes work after AM did his mix. And so I guess to kind of get ready for this, he had AM record a lot of his sets live. So AM was just nonstop sending Kevin Scott sets from the club, and they were going to pick like their favorites, I guess, from those live sets. But obviously what ended up happening, as you can imagine, it was really hard to get the clearances for all these classic songs, and they kind of were going to go way over their budget. So the project never happened. One thing that was real funny they mentioned in the article was that the club night that they had, that he posted a mix from, it was hosted, I think, by I was going to say Kelly Kapowski. Tiffany Amber Thiessen hosted, I know her as Kelly Kapowski. She hosted the club night, and her picture was all over the flyer and her name in big letters. And then right in the bottom, it's small writing. It said live DJ set by DJ AM, which was kind of funny. This is from 2008, so I'm surprised how small his name. He was already pretty known huge by then. But definitely listen to the mix. I kind of didn't have time to listen to the whole thing. He just put it out today. But there was a lot of familiar stuff, because I think most DJs who are into the craft, such as myself and JD, we've already seen a lot of the YouTube videos. I assume you scoured YouTube. I think that's every DJ who's actually into DJing at one time or another has probably searched DJ AM on YouTube. And that's how I know the names of all these clubs, really, is from seeing the videos of AM on YouTube. So I recognize a few of the things, like was Lithium into Yeah by Usher. That's one of the popular AM mixes. I recognize there's a few other ones, but it's kind of nice to be able to download a whole set like that. So
yeah, I'm definitely interested in listening to that, because there haven't been any new DJM mixes released in a long time, obviously. So.
Definitely miss this creativity in the house world that exists nowadays. It's not the same.
Yeah, not the same at all. Hopefully someone starts to push those boundaries again.
But I definitely recommend, obviously you guys are going to click this and get the mix, but read that story too. It's a pretty good story.
All right, want to let you guys know that the Mixing Lab from DJ Mystery, Video DJ, is back on Tuesday nights at themixinglab.net. They do a live broadcast of a video mixing set. You can join the chat room and everything. I think it's hosted on Ustream. It's also hosted on their website, so check that out. Tuesday nights now, season 3, I guess. Also, they're hosting the Video DJ Conference, second annual Video DJ Conference at Mandalay Bay Hotel and Resort in Las Vegas from September 23rd to the 26th. So that's at videodjconference.com if you want to check that out. Of course, Eloy and Josh Carl will probably be down there, or at least talking about it on the video report. All right. Also coming up, we have Coachella just announced they're going to do a cruise. Yes, a Coachella Cruise. This is taken from billboard.biz, and I guess it's going to be they have 2 cruises. One's going to be a 3-day tour of the Bahamas from December 16th, and a 4-day cruise to Jamaica starting December 19th. Both trips are leaving out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and start at $500 a person. A few of the performers on the tour or on the cruise will be Girl Talk, Simeon Mobile Disco, and Z Trip.
Any holograms this time?
You never know.
Okay.
Those were the 3 most interesting performers that I saw there. There's a bunch of other people going too, but nobody I really knew, and those were only 3 that.
I forgot the Tupac hologram got shot. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So he obviously won't be.
Maybe the hologram of the hologram.
Good call.
All right, and definitely also shout out to Joey C, who we've seen on Remix Report in the past. He just released his EP on, where was it released at? We're going to have to find that out, and we're going to put that in the links. It's a new disco EP, definitely some really good production, and really sick stuff from Joey C. So check that out. Really great stuff, especially, and I'm going to be playing in my opening sets, and definitely if I'm playing like a disco theme party, I would definitely be working some of this stuff in there. So,
and I know one of the reasons Joey stopped doing the Mashup Mafia stuff, he kind of wanted to reinvent himself as a producer. Shout out to Johnny C too, the other half of the Mashup Mafia. But you can tell that Joey's definitely been putting in some hard work, and definitely check out the EP.
Yeah. All right, so we also want to remind you to check out our interview with Dave Ade that we posted last Friday. Definitely a great producer, great remixer. He's had 75 #1 Billboard dance
75,
remixes.
Are you serious? He's at 80.
Or 8, man.
Yeah.
It just goes up so fast, it's hard to keep track. So lots of good information there.
That's amazing. 80, #1. I mean, how many DJs can say they've had 80 songs actually picked up by labels that have just been out there? He's actually had, I can't imagine how many he's actually had out there. He's had 80 #1s. That's crazy.
Insane.
And, it was actually a really good interview. He gave some good answers, which is kind of weird when you're doing the interview. Sometimes there's a lot of, I want to say, I don't want to offend the people that we're interviewing and say I'm not totally into what they're saying, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff we're doing while we're interviewing. We have a whole list of questions, and we're trying to make the questions make sense, the order we ask them in. So if he answers another question, we're like, they have most of our attention, but sometimes we'll be deleting a question, and you're always thinking about what you're going to ask next and stuff. So for the most part, the people we're interviewing do have most of our attention, but there is sometimes where we're not totally into it. We might miss a couple seconds here and there. So it was good for me to go back and watch the whole thing. And he actually, he did give some real good advice at the end too.
Yeah, one thing we did want to kind of talk about was at the very end of the interview, we talked about the Pool remix chart. And I don't think, after some thought and discussion, I would say that we don't necessarily completely agree with his characterization of the chart.
But
he does make some good points about it.
We're an open book when it comes to our promo only chart. If you want to know exactly how we do it, we think we have the best way that we could possibly formulate a chart under the circumstances that we're in. He mentioned that TSO doesn't report, which is true. But what we want our chart to be really is a chart for DJs like us, myself and JD, and all the other open format DJs who are playing at average to above average clubs, I'd say. Not that we want to exclude the other guys who are just starting out, but we feel that certain level, most of us are playing for pretty much the same kind of crowds for the most part. And we want to know, as peers, we want to know what our peers are playing at kind of similar spots across the country. And I think the guys that we have reporting for the most part, are all within a certain level. Not the guys who are making $200,000 a gig, but within the similar price range that we're getting for the most part.
And the thing is, most of us can't really get away with playing what the $200,000 DJs get away with playing.
True.
They aren't playing open format spots. Open format crowds don't want to just listen to that all night. They want to listen to stuff that they know. And huge DJs get to play whatever they want because people are there to see them and see their show. And it's a totally different set of music, I guess, that they're really playing.
I mean, our chart is what. I mean, it's good to know what people like us are playing. Yeah. I guess we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So I think the chart is a very accurate representation of the mid to high range DJ in the United States. I think it's a great tool. I love looking at it.
If we had a chart that was only that the top 100 DJs on Beatport reported to, and then we separated this chart that we have now still existed, which one would you look at? I mean, I'd probably check both, but in terms of if I was doing a gig maybe in Miami or something, if I had a gig there and it was at a similar kind of club where I DJ now, I'd want to know the chart. I mean, that would best indicate the kind of place that it gives you an idea of an overall understanding of what people are playing all across the country. In addition to just DJs like myself, it gives me a good idea to find new remixes I might not have thought of that everyone else is playing, which means I should probably give it a listen to see if it could fit in my sets too.
Yeah, absolutely. So check out that Day by Day interview. Great stuff there. All right, let's move into some discussion here. First up, we have the whole topic of DJs apparently dropping DJ from their name. So not only do we question what a DJ really is, but now DJs don't even want to be associated with the moniker that describes what they actually do, which is kind of weird.
This could be another example of maybe people trying to feed off of what some of the house guys are doing. I mean, before DJs started dropping DJ from their name, DJs started having a different name totally if they were going to get into the house scene. People started using their real names because they don't want to be associated as an open format producer or open format DJ gone house. That kind of people can kind of pick up on that. You kind of want to be a house guy who's been house all the time. So people are trying to get away from the open format thing. And I think one way of doing that is to remove the DJ from your name, because most of the house guys don't have that DJ label. Even though, you know what, there are a few that do. Like, I don't know if it's just for the sake maybe of Twitter handles and finding one that wasn't used, but I think Rehab's Twitter handle is DJ Rehab. And I've seen Chucky referred to as DJ Chucky sometimes. So those are two guys who do
DJ Dan.
DJ Dan. I mean, we all know it sounds silly when people say DJ Avicii or DJ Tiesto. That kind of sounds silly because we think of those guys as Tiesto.
See, I guess the difference with the house guys is all those house guys, for the most part, were producers before they were DJs. So they had a producer name.
Yeah.
And then they ended up DJing because that's what you have to do. And DJs, on the other hand, I guess, to get respect in the house game, especially internationally, to be thought of as a producer and not a DJ, which I guess is how most of the house guys are thought of overall. You can't have DJ in front of your name. I don't know.
So,
all these guys really that we're going to mention here in a second are trying to make a name for themselves producing. So I think that's really what kind of facilitates the need to drop this. But
they are some of the biggest names in open format DJs who have made gone along with the times. Vice, Inferno, Rocket Scientists, Sprite. When we say Rocket Scientists, we mean DJ Solars and DJ Goozy are now just Solars and Goozy, as Goozy mentioned last week. I got a chance to talk to Inferno last week because he was at Shrine and he was doing some of his live remix project there, which he said it went over pretty good, but he actually said that sometimes the crowd doesn't feel it as much as when he's just DJing. He tried to make more of an effort into having people actually look at to see what he was doing this time. Like he actually would stop the music sometimes, so all eyes would be on him when he would do stuff, which I thought was a good idea.
Very interesting. Yeah. So if you know any other DJs that are dropping DJ from their name, maybe comment and let us know who they are and maybe why you think they're dropping it from their name.
I saw someone I was friends with on Facebook who just mentioned that he was thinking about doing it, and all the other DJs replied that they were going to do it too, which, I don't know, it seems like it's picking up steam now. I don't think I'll ever drop the DJ from my name.
I can't, so.
It's kind of funny. Imagine all the drops you have to chop off the DJ.
Yeah. Well, this kind of leads into an article we found from DJ Tech Tools. Ian Golden wrote an article on how to pick a great DJ name. Lots of good stuff in the article, so please go and check it out. But one of the most important things I think he mentioned is a checklist of to go through when you're considering a DJ name. And this is more for people being able to find you online, which of course is very important. So first you want to make sure that the domain name, easy for me to say, is available. So you can get yourname.com. Make sure the Facebook name is also available. The Twitter handle is available.
No, I kind of actually almost disagree with this in a way. I mean, it's good to have your DJ name without having to add different things to it.
What is there to disagree with?
Well, no, I think the most important thing is choosing a name that is unique and not one that you don't want to have the same name as another DJ. I think if there's a rapper, some underground rapper from Wyoming who has the name that you want to use as a DJ, and you really like that DJ name, even though he's taken all those links that you want, I say still have that DJ name, just maybe add a 1 at the end of your links. Or
No, it looks totally unprofessional.
So does the real DJ JD look unprofessional?
Yeah, it does.
I disagree.
Because the guy who owns DJJD.com refuses to respond to my requests, even though he says the site's for sale. So screw him.
So this is more of a biased opinion that you're presenting.
No, I mean, no, for search engine optimization, for people to easily find you, and for people not to have to remember 5 different names. Okay, your Facebook is the real DJ JD.
I'm not saying
your
you
Twitter
have to make
is
5
just
different names.
DJ JD1.
Jason,
your
I'm not
website
saying,
is comecdjjd.com.
I'm not saying you have to make it 5 different. You could find one thing like DJ Skills. Our friend DJ Skills, his links are DJ Skills Music.
Yeah.
So there's ways around it if you find a name that you like. I wouldn't let some obscure random person who's not a DJ.
But DJ Skills has to do that because he chose a name that is already out there that people use. So that forewent your first rule, which is find a DJ name that is new and creative. And no one else has.
I still stand by that rule, but I'm just saying if there's some little kid who for some reason that's his nickname, not even a rapper, not even in the entertainment business, who has a couple of those links that you'd like, I wouldn't let that deter you from choosing the DJ name that you really want. If there's another DJ by that name, that's a different story.
It is tougher and tougher to find anything original that you can get online with more and more people getting into the DJ game and just getting online and all that stuff in general. So it can definitely be tricky. But so if you do want to have a DJ name, whether it has DJ in front of it or not, those are some things definitely to consider. All right, we also Bassnectar chimed in on the whole button pushing.
This is going to lead into
debate,
our previous discussions,
which I will not be talking about because I'm over it. He said in his blog post, to really understand the hot topic of button pushing, let's get clear about several things. A, what is the definition of a DJ? Then what's the difference between mixing and selecting? What is happening up on stage during a DJ set? What is live versus a live experience? And what is all this fuss all about? So he kind of went into detail on all those things. Definitely had some good things to say.
The first question he asked was our topic of the week.
Yep. So definitely go check out that article at bassnectar.net and see what he had to say about all that stuff.
So our topic of the week was regarding the whole deadmau5 thing that JD is over. It's kind of another word for being stubborn about, same kind of thing.
No, I'm just tired of talking about it.
The topic of the week, we wanted to know your definition of what a DJ was. And first of all, shout outs to the DJs who gave us their definitions. A few of you guys actually wrote your names. So shout out to DJ Sour, DJ Eastwood, Brian Armand, DJ Wooey, DJ Spinart, and DJ Main. Brian Armand, I think I finally got him to kind of switch to the dark side a little bit. I think the whole thing about... well, first of all, let's get to the definitions.
Let's.
I'm not even going to read a lot of these definitions. Pretty much anyone whose definition was over 2 sentences was a little bit out of whack, because most of these people who wrote the definitions was kind of more along the lines of what they thought a DJ should be, or in other words, what they do when they DJ. In other words, using turntables or what equipment you like, that shouldn't be part of the definition. Just like whether you're beat matching or people are dancing to your music, or the emotion of the crowd really isn't part of the definition of a DJ. So I think that's where a little bit of bias came in. Can we get the numbers up? I'll talk a little bit more about this while you get the numbers up from the voting. I just want to say that I tried to make my own definition, and when making a definition, I wanted to find something that people weren't able to pick apart, like we were with the definition that was listed in the dictionary that said a DJ is anyone who plays music for a crowd. Obviously, the first thing I thought of was the whole David Letterman thing, where if he played a sample of music for his audience, would he be a DJ? According to the definition of the dictionary, yes. Obviously, no one would think that David Letterman's a DJ, so I was able to pick apart that definition. Everyone agrees that's too broad, right?
Yeah.
So I tried to think of my own little definition, and I wish I wrote it down, but I think what my definition was: a DJ is someone whose main purpose is to play primarily pre-recorded music or pre-recorded sounds for an audience. And because I wanted to incorporate radio DJs, those guys are DJs too. The guys who go on the radio and just press play with a song. I mean, in our culture, they're known as DJs. I've done a boxing match before where between rounds, I would play a song. I wouldn't even get a chance to mix in another song. So I'd just literally be playing a song. The bell would go off, they'd start fighting again. Next round, I'd play another song. And to any human who's in attendance, they would say that I was DJing the boxing match. And to someone who maybe travels with the people throwing the fights, that person DJs boxing matches. He's a boxing match DJ in certain situations. So even though I'm not mixing, I don't think anyone would argue that I wasn't DJing that boxing match. Would you argue that?
No, I agree.
Good.
I also don't argue that deadmau5 is DJing when he's up there. That's not up for debate. He is, obviously.
I think that little thing that you have where he DJs but he's not a DJ is very weird. I still haven't even figured it out. I think you actually purposely ran late to record this episode so we wouldn't have time to go into this.
Thank God.
So I'm going to save it for next week because I'm sure more stuff will come out.
I hope.
But I want to discuss this a little bit more next week. The one thing I will say...
No, let's just get it all out. I don't want to drag this out any longer.
First of all, when people keep saying that people who are on the side that he is not a DJ, the first thing they say is, well, I mean, I know literally he's a DJ. Well, I mean, literally, according to the definition, he is. No, if you're going to be literal.
No, they say, yes, I know that he does DJ.
Oh, yeah.
They're not saying that he is a DJ.
Yeah, literally, he meets the definition. But this is more than a literal thing. If you're in the crowd and you're watching a guy up on stage play the songs while everyone, I mean, it's not. No one would say.
There's a few things to think about here. When people think about a DJ, generally, when most people, if you took a poll and you asked them to pick out between a few people, like I don't know, most people would say that a DJ has a pair of turntables in front of him and is playing music that way, right?
Turntables.
That's most people's image of a DJ. It's not someone sitting in front of a mixing board at a radio station. It's not someone with an APC. It's not someone on their computer just doing this. It's someone with
disagree.
turntables or CD players in front of them.
I don't think most non-DJs picture the turntables. No, I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah, I disagree. Can you think how many people always come up to you and they're like, "Wow, you still use turntables?" There's a lot of people who...
Yeah, you
who are-
still do. That doesn't mean that that's not the first thing they think of when they think of a DJ.
I would disagree. I wouldn't think that they would think of turntables first.
I think most of the people that come up to you and say that are like over 50.
Probably. I could very well be wrong, but I would just think that most people would just not even have any thought of the equipment when they think of DJ. I think that's...
And I'm not saying... Well, I'm not trying to say that the equipment makes you a certain type of DJ or not. I don't think equipment comes into play for the definition of a DJ at all.
I think you're way overthinking, because I think the first... if you were to bring up the subject of DJ to a non-DJ, they would picture somebody the way they see them, facing them, just with their hands over some equipment that they have no idea what it is. I think that's what they would picture.
Well, yeah, all right. Hands over left something and hands over right something,
I can see that.
which Deadmau5 doesn't do. Interesting.
But nowadays, when they picture a DJ, this new generation, they're just gonna picture the laptop in front.
It's true. Hopefully with the dope sticker on it.
Yeah, hopefully.
From DJ labels.
So let's get into some statistics here. Now that the first question was, what is your definition?
First, let's take a look back quickly at our first poll, which was Deadmau5 a DJ? 25% said he is, 75% said he is not. Now, after some thought,
It seems that
40% think that he is not,
Yeah.
and 60% think he is. So things have definitely switched a little bit.
I've been able to state my case, is what happened, I think.
It's still pretty close to 50-50, though.
Yeah, but we're making progress towards being more rational, I think, is what's going on. I mean, let me ask you this. You said that Deadmau5 doesn't consider him a DJ, and that kind of weighed in at first to one of the reasons that you thought he wasn't. But what if Deadmau5 took the DJing more serious than he took the producing, and you had this whole argument of why he's a producer, but then he comes out and he says, you know what, I don't want to be known as a producer, I'm a DJ. I mean, would that make you wrong for saying your arguments of why he's a producer? That wouldn't change anything. So in other words,
it may change something.
What he says shouldn't
change. Why would that not
anything.
change anything?
Because what he says shouldn't change.
If he actually took DJing more seriously and put more work to actually mix things live in more of a normal DJ way, then
as we discussed, how serious you take your job doesn't determine whether that's what you're doing it or not.
I think you try and put too specific definition to everything and aren't taking into account that things are not the same across the playing field.
I think anybody who says he's not a DJ is being way too specific. I would actually flip that around on you.
Go right ahead. Thank you. Funny how that happened. Just got flipped around just like that.
Just like that.
Bam, right upside my face.
So anyway, I mean, it seems like a lot of people are changing their opinions one way or the other.
I think the moral of the story is no one can really come to an agreement on this. A lot of people pretty much don't want to claim him as a DJ, no matter if they think he is a DJ or not.
That's what I think. The bottom line
he's really
is.
Just a jerk anyway.
I think a lot of people here feel that he's not doing what they're doing, so therefore he's not what they are. Which there's many different kinds of DJs. Which
I think that's something that needs to be taken into consideration too. Right. So he's not an open format DJ. He's not a regular club DJ.
He's a DJ who plays tracks that he produced
in a pre-recorded mix. Yes.
Not pre-recorded. He's hitting play on every song. He's not by any means good at mixing these songs. They're pre-done for him.
I wonder how much he really is doing that, though.
He seemed like he was pretty honest in his blog.
There's a few things that he could be doing. And he could be hitting play at the beginning of each song in sync, or he could have a whole multi-tracked 90-minute mix just already programmed out. And then he's just sitting there, like it's multi-tracked though, so he has control over the kick, synth line, vocal, and all that stuff. It's all pretty mixed though already, and then he's just sitting there tweaking it. Would that change your opinion?
No, not at all.
He wouldn't be DJing; he's producing. He's a producer.
No, but he's
if you produce a mix ahead of time and play that mix for people, I don't think that's DJing.
But he's playing these mixes and kind of mixing them together for a crowd while they dance to him.
It's already mixed.
No, but he's hitting play for every song.
Once. No, I'm saying if
Once
it
for
was
every song.
No, I'm saying if he only had to play once, hit play once at the very beginning of the show, and everything just was going along, but then he could fade instruments in and out if he wanted to.
Yes, he's still a DJ.
No,
a very, very
he would be
shitty one who's cheating.
He would be a mixing engineer at that point.
A DJ.
That's exactly what a mixing engineer does at a console at a concert.
He's a cheating. He'd be cheating.
So if a mixing engineer was at
a cheating DJ.
So if a mixing engineer for the Rolling Stones was on the middle of the stage instead of back in the audience mixing everybody, would that be DJing? That's basically what he's doing.
They're playing the music though. Rolling Stones is be playing the music.
Yeah, but he's mixing them. He's adjusting the levels and all that stuff. That's what I'm saying deadmau5 would be doing.
But deadmau5 is doing more than just controlling volume and levels. He's actually providing, because of his pressing play, he's providing the actual sound that goes to the speakers.
Oh, so he pressed play once and that makes a difference.
That means that he cheated, and I wish he didn't cheat, but he's a cheating DJ in that case. See, the weird thing is that I'm having these arguments with some of our viewers. I've gotten to the last step in the argument with you, where you already admit he's DJing. You just...
And we don't really... to be honest, we really don't know what he's doing.
No, but you have been saying now that you agree he's DJing. You don't think he's a DJ, but you agree he's DJing. Yeah. So I've reached the final step. I just can't get you to say that even though he DJs all these gigs per year and he gets paid he's one of the top money earners in his field, I still can't get you to admit that that's what he is, which I think is...
That's correct.
Very weird. Very, very weird.
You're weird for thinking that.
Anyway. Thanks for letting me at least get to go in on this a little bit.
You're welcome.
So, are we ending it right there?
Yeah, I think so.
It's a good thing we put it at the end, because people probably are sick of hearing me be right like this all the time.
I sure am sick of hearing you.
It's like when your parents, as a kid, you grow up and you realize your parents were right, but you still were sick of hearing them at the time. And I think that's probably how people feel about me. They know I'm right, and they know I'm being rational, but they're acting like little kids, and they want to just do their own thing, which I understand. So even if you don't agree with me, I know that really means you do, and I understand.
Way to just put that forward like that. Yeah. That's wonderful. I'm sure all our viewers are just thrilled with you right now.
They're fortunate to be able to hear a voice of reason like me.
All right, if you're thrilled to hear Jay Spring's opinion, let us know down there in the comments.
Sure,
if you're not thrilled, please let us know in the comments, and email us also at remixreport@gmail.com.
Would you ever kick me off of Remix Report?
Is that an option?
I might put up a little bit of a fight.
If you would pay to see a fight between me and Jay Spring, to see who gets kicked off Remix Report, PayPal us some money at remixreport@gmail.com.
I don't think that fight would last very long.
No, don't do that. It's not going to happen. But do let us know what you think. Let us know if you're going to be at the DJ Expo. Check out Joey C's EP and the DJ AM mix.
Yes, it's on Kevin Scott's website. We're going to put a link.
And the EDM Growth Chart.
Click on all these links that we put up, because we wouldn't be putting them up if they weren't worthwhile checking out.
So check them out.
Yes.
Peace.
Remixreport.com